Hey guys, we're live here for episode 14 of Feral but Sober. My guest today I'm really excited about. His name is Derek. He is actually a friend of mine and someone that I've known for a long time. He has a really amazing story. If you just bear with me for a few minutes while I send him the link and get him on, I have a segment video just kind of introducing him with his little picture. Um, I'm really excited about this episode today because Derek is someone that I know, so I'm always super excited to hear stories and sharing people's recovery. Obviously that I'm invested in, but give me 1 second. My guys could just bear with me because my app is not working correctly. It is not loading up. Let me try again. Sometimes we have problems, right? It happens to everybody. Just bear with me. No one's in here yet. That's great. If anybody is watching on struggling right now to get this link into him. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I think I might have it figured. Sorry, this is happening. I've sent it. So hopefully this works. Let's give this a try. Harry. Your camera's off or something. Yeah. It's okay. I have a little video, a little intro video I'm going to play while you get it figured out.
Towards the cliff, I've fallen into the blue. But don't try to stop me, 'cause I'm in recovery. discovery. Like me afar, I'll step too close.
So, like I was telling everybody, I'll talk a little bit. Wait,
Second.
you are fine. We're gonna shoot out. We got an hour, man. Like I was saying to everybody, there, I'm always excited to share people's stories of people that I know personally because it's just always, I don't know, like I have a personal, attachment, I guess. So
All right, there we go.
there we go. There you are.
So my computer seems to be lagging
So
a little bit. If it gets too bad, I'll switch phone.
not a big deal. Make sure everything. Okay. Oh. They're mad. Okay, so me and Derek talked a little bit yesterday, and we decided that he's going to tell his story. Is it lagging bad? Say something.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, yeah, I can hear. It's not that bad. I mean, like I don't. It's not matching up with your mouth, but it's not cracking the words. It's okay. So we talked, and Derek is gonna tell his story, hitting on some important points. You're cutting out really bad now. Come here, baby. What's wrong? Oh, give me a binky. Oh, my buddy. Okay. All right. It's all right, baby. It's okay. Sure. Okay, so this one needs to get taken away. There we go. There, that's better. Yep, that's better. Okay, buddy. Okay, give me a minute. He wants a cuppy, please. All right, so now we got our issues. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. So Derek's going to tell his story, highlighting on some things that he thinks important. And then he's going to tell, he has a couple stories that he wants to tell because we thought it was important to let people know some of the things that we did because, at one point in time, we both felt like we had done so wrong, like we were so low, so far gone or so far in it that we couldn't ever come back. So I think it's important to know that for people to know that we've done some of the same things that we've been, where no one is any worse off than anyone. And just because our experiences may or may not be worse or better than someone or something, that doesn't mean anybody's, addiction was worse or better or anything like that. I just want people to know that there is hope, that no matter how far gone they are, they okay, baby, hold on. No matter how far gone they are, that there is hope for them to come back, that, second chances are real, third chances, ninth chances are real, guys. It doesn't matter how many times it takes somebody. There's always hope. I'm going to take him, turn this real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. This is not going well. What's in there?
All right. Okay, so you can start wherever you want. As far as in your journey, however, I know that me and Derek had talked about doing this more than one time because he has a lot to share. Derek, I know, has a lot of experiences, a lot of a lot of messages and things that I really think could be helpful to people. And so necessarily going to tell his entire journey start to finish. He's going to touch on aspects through the whole thing, and we're just going to talk about anybody watching. As always, feel free to drop comments, questions if you want to hear anything. I know Kendra was going to try to watch if there's anything that that you can think of that you want to mention. And everybody, by all means, feel free to jump in.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So, like you said, if anybody wants to jump in or has comments or whatever, I'll do my best to try to stop and answer them. But I don't think I can really see the comments right now. But so yeah, I've definitely put the lab coat on more than one time. Probably more than 12 times. But so it kind of started, like you mentioned in your promo. It was raised by a single mother. Like I know my dad's name. That's about it. Uh, Grew up. It didn't seem so bad when I was younger, but I think I was just younger. But we grew up kind of poor, and it kind of gradually got worse as we went through life or whatever. But so where it really started though was roughly 11, 12. Started hanging out with older people and do what they did, I guess. So trying to remember. So yeah, so the first time I ever it started with weed, honestly. First time I ever smoked weed was I was with a friend and his older brother, and his brother and his friend were smoking, and they just, you know what I mean, kept having. They always got their little brother high, and I was with him, wanted to fit in or whatever. That's kind of how it started. Oh, and to say this, I might jump around a little bit, but my mom did not start out as an addict. So when I was younger, she didn't do drugs, she didn't smoke weed. She she did go out to the bar every weekend, but so but she got hurt roughly when I was like 8, 9 years old. She couldn't really get off the couch, and my little sister was like maybe 2 or 3, and that's where I kind of had to step in, I guess. So by like 10, I was cooking full course meals, of course, with her coaching me through it from the living room, doing laundry, making sure my sister was ready for school, or well, that was a couple years down the road, but whatever. But like household shit that a 10-year-old really probably shouldn't be doing, maybe just learning, but not like doing full time.
Right.
And I missed out on a lot of my childhood. So because of that, grew up extremely fast. And then so as I got a little older, that's where I wanted to have that freedom that I would have had as a kid, I guess, is the best way to explain it. So I just kind of started doing what I wanted, not really worrying about consequences. And it was more or less do this now, worry about what happens later. So as that went on, I started getting into, like I said, weed, and then slowly, uh, like Vicodin, and I'm trying to work my way to where this shit really picks up, because everything didn't really start until about 16 years old, 17, something like that. I started getting into Oxycontin and heroin and like that whole criminal lifestyle. As a kid, I thought I was a little thug, but that's when I really started getting into it. Not to be gangster, it was just my habit. So it started out. I started kind of messing with
I'm in Kentucky and Ohio. Go ahead.
older chicks. There was this one older chick, Erica. That's kind of where the oxys took off. And then I'm a little nervous, so my thoughts are a little scattered.
Yeah, no, you're okay. I can tell you're nervous. Just pretend like you're talking to me.
Right. Yeah, but you already know. Nah.
Not all of it.
I know. But no, so it started. So if you skip through the weed, the Vicodin, it kind of started about 15, 16, 17 when it really started progressing. I'm I'm going to try to keep names out of this because we know a lot of the mutual people when they're on our Facebooks.
Right.
And it's not just the one you're thinking of. There's a few others,
Oh,
but
I'm sure.
anyway, so yeah. But
Not
I'm gonna try
necessarily
to keep certain names.
females
Huh?
too, just everybody. I said not necessarily just females too, just everybody,
Right? No, not at all. Not at all.
Right.
But so there was the first time I ever did heroin. It was what I considered my older sister and her girlfriend, and me and a friend just rode downtown with them for the ride, just simply for the ride. We were bored, thought we were going to go party, but I didn't think me and him were going to end up partying like that. Well, so we go down there, and that turned into a whole shit show. So we go down there. We'll just say my sister, not my younger sister, but we'll just say my sister. Her girlfriend goes down here, robs the dude, and he's hanging out our car window, and she's blasting him, like going down the street. So anyway, she robs the dude. I'm freaking the fuck out. Like okay, we're down here in the hood. Like, where I'm from. I'm from a small town. We're down here in the hood. This bitch just robbed this dude. I don't know. I'm still a kid. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I'm freaking out, trying to play it cool or whatever. Well, we get back to the house or whatever, and they're doing it, and I'm asking her girlfriend what it's like, and she's like, "Oh, it's like a pain pill." Well, I've done plenty of those. So I was like, "Let me get some." Well, my older sister was like, "If you give him some of that, I'm gonna fuck you up." Well, he goes to the bathroom. It was snuck to me, and it was where that was my first time ever. And that's where it kind of started. Let me think. So it was like I was already kind of into the oxys, but then I got really into those for a while. I was with another girl from our area, and she was real big on those from day one. So I was stealing from my grandpa. You know what I mean? I'm just at this point, I'm just trying to be cool, impress this girl. Like, yeah, I got everything. Da 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 da. And so, and I had them, and it got to the point where I wasn't selling them so much, and I was thinking like, well, I'm not going to not benefit somehow. So I started doing them extremely heavy. And the first time I ever ended up dope sick, I went to the hospital because I had no fucking idea what was wrong with me, dude. I had no idea. Go ahead.
I remember
Was you wanting to say something?
Now, yeah, just I was going to comment on that. I remember the first time I was dope sick. I worked at the Country Inn in Mount Orb, man, and I had like I sat in the shower that morning. I had to go to work, and like I woke up and I was like, we didn't have any dope, but I didn't know that was why I didn't feel good. I had no idea,
Right.
So I'm like sitting there in the shower. I'm sitting down in the shower, like just letting, and I'm like, well, I'm so sick, dude. And I go to work and I'm like dying, and I cannot figure out why. And I eventually, power work until they let me leave, and we went and got, we went to the city when it picked up, and when I instantly felt better, like that was, I don't know, like I can remember thinking like, oh shit, but by that point, but I had no idea, like I had no freaking clue. I'm sorry, someone else that we knew told me, they were like, definitely that's what, because they had been on it, and I was like, oh no, like not me, I'm not, that's not gonna happen to me, and I got it.
Yeah, that's how it was with me. Like I was doing these pain pills, and the girl I was talking about, where I was stealing them for, is again probably not the one you're thinking of. You know what I mean? But this was right before that. You know what I mean? This was right before that. So I started kind of getting into those, and I woke up one morning and was getting ready to go about my little day, jumped in the shower, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, like I just felt groggy and just, clammy. And about 2 hour and a half where I got up, I couldn't sit still. I was like, nose running. I was like, what's going on? Like, so I take a hot shower or whatever. This will probably fix it. And I get out of the shower and I sit down. I have no energy whatsoever. I go to my grandma's and I'm sitting there talking to her and I can't sit still. I keep sneezing. Like any type of smells making my stomach turn. She's like, "Are you all right?" Like I was like, "I don't know, dude. I'm sick, but this is a weird type of sick. I've never been like this." So I go to the doctor or the hospital. And they're like, "What's going on with you?" And I told them, like, "Dude, something's like wrong with me. I don't know what it is, this and that." Well, they start asking questions and doing tests. Well, they come back with blood tests they did, and they were like, "Do you have any history with like opiates or pain pills?" I was like, and I was honest with them. I was like, "Yeah, I do pain pills sometimes or whatever." And they were like, "How often?" I was like, "I don't know, once a day, twice a day, whatever." And they were like, okay, so you're probably withdrawing." I was like, no, I'm not withdrawing. There's no way. And they sent me home with what was it? It wasn't gabapentin or Neurontin, but some type of comfort meds like hydroxyzine.
Oh.
It was hydroxyzine and something else they sent me home with. Well, I get home and I was like, "Dude, I'm gonna see if this is true." So I go right around the block. You know where I grew up. Right around the block and grab a couple oxys or whatever. And sure enough, yep, I was dope sick. So that's where it really started kind of to take off. So and then here's where it gets bad. So I meet another female, which I'd already known, but end up in a thing with her or whatever. And things go good for a while. And she was fresh out from doing a bid and things are going good for a while, whatever. Well, then and I kind of fell off from the pain pills and stuff like that for, a little bit at first. Well, then she starts, just got out wanting to party. Why not? Right. So she starts doing her thing with them. And it ends up being my first love, so that there is where things really kind of took a turn. So we start, when you think of a toxic relationship, and it's on both parts, I'm not blaming her for any of it. It's 50-50. But when you think of a toxic relationship, this is what you would find in the dictionary under the definition. But constantly, like if I didn't have money to foot the pills, we were fighting. She would dip off. I'd lose my shit, so on. And then so I decided, and we talked about it at some point or whatever. Well, we had some money, but not enough for the pills. So somebody popped up and they had the next step up, and it was cheaper. It was cheaper. It was stronger. And I was like, "Oh yeah, for two of us, that's the route to go." And I'm still a kid. I'm only like 16, 17 at times. So I'm thinking, I ain't got no job. I'm just out here thinking I'm some kind of hustler and whatever.
Yeah, but I think like me though, you got in the same situation where you got in a situation where you're addicted to a substance and there is two people that is in this that needs to be well every day, and heroin is cheaper and strong, and I'm not, definitely not promoting it as the freaking devil, but
No, not at all.
In our minds at the time, that's where we were going. It made perfect sense. And that was completely rational. Like, instead of getting help, let's just graduate.
Right. And that was the thing. Like, so I had messed with the pain pills and stuff, and I was kind of withdrawn. Like I said, around the time I met her, I kind of fell off. I was still doing them, but not quite as much, I guess. But then it kind of picked back up because I'm also I like to mix drugs with sex. You know what I mean? And it's just what it is. Like, so that kind of triggered that too, but that was on me. Anyway, so where was I at? Oh yeah, so somebody showed up and it was cheaper, stronger. There's 2 of us now. And even though I'd been messing with these pain pills, I had no idea the turn my life was about to take. I mean, like, I had no idea how downhill this was about to go.
At
So
time, were
we
you
started
shot
doing.
up yet or no?
What is it?
Have you shot up yet at this point or no?
No, I have not. I have not. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had no idea where my life was about to head. And that's the thing too. I was a clueless kid, dude. You know. And again, I'm bringing these people up because these were the people present at the time. And although they did have an impact on the choices I made, I still made my own choices. I was warned about this stuff all growing up from grandparents and uncles and my mom. I was warned about it all growing up, like pain pills, heroin, coke, you know, but I still made my own choices at the end of the day. And they didn't even really impact them. I just thought I was being cool, impressing people. You know, that's the impact that I mean when I say that.
Absolutely.
But
Nobody's like, I struggle with what I feel like what you're doing right now is that like I struggle to talk about my story because people I care about sometimes get shed in a negative light, and I don't intend that at all.
yeah,
But just what happened, and facts are facts, and
right.
I can own up to my part, and other people, have
Yep.
played various roles, and but I know it sucks to have to, but
It does. And I hate to do that to people, but we were all fucked up, man.
yep,
I did fucked
absolutely.
up shit. They did fucked up shit. We all did fucked up
Right.
shit.
And no
And
hard feelings, like I own my part,
exactly.
forgive,
Yep. Yep. And most of which are doing much better in life now. Like a lot of the people I was in active addiction with are doing fantastic now.
I said
Like
that
so
the other day that I am like amazed at how many people like recovery is like skyrocketing because there's so many people that
right.
I know that I never thought would get clean,
Mm-hmm.
are
Yep.
doing amazing. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. But so that's where that started. And then instead of the pills, we just started doing that. And I probably didn't go downtown to cop for the first year. I was doing heroin. I 20s and 40s around, our area, whatever. And then so one time the girl's woman, should I say, the woman I was with sister came over. This is so this goes on, the relationship goes on, it's toxic. But we still keep doing it, Why not, right? But it's physical all the time. It's constantly screaming, there's no peace, whatever. But we still keep doing it. Well, one of her sisters come over, and if I remember correctly, I think we were sick. And she didn't have very much. She's like, look, this is the only way that you guys are going to feel anything. The female that I was with at the time had prior experience with it, with shooting up. I did not. So I was against it at first. Like, absolutely not. You're not poking me with that. But I really wanted to get right. So I broke down. Like, they were like, dude, listen, you can do what you want, but you're not going to feel it. Like, it's going to be useless. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll try it. And that right there was the first time that I ever shot up, and the last time that I ever, or the, hold on, this is the first time I ever shot up, and the time before that was the last time that I had ever snorted dope. You know what I mean? Until about a year and a half before I got clean. But anyway, so
yeah, I
that
know.
starts going on.
Like you start shooting up, like I would go downtown, man, and I would be so freaking sick and not have, not have something and wait for hours, go back home and like have to find
Yeah,
somebody to give some stuff to
yeah,
get or to maybe just use
right.
theirs, like can we just use it? Like who cares,
Whatever
right?
comes first, man. Whatever comes first.
Because I'm
Hell
not
yeah.
up my nose because I'm not gonna
Right.
feel
It's a
it.
waste at that point, right? That's how we thought.
In my mind,
But
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a waste. It ain't going to do nothing. It ain't going to get me well. In reality, it might not have got you faded, but what we
Right.
were looking
It
for was
definitely
rush it
helped. Yeah.
provided. Yeah,
But
if I did
you
that
told
rush,
me
I
that
was still sick in my mind.
I'm not wasting it. That would have been wasting. Like,
Right. But so that there was the first time I shot up, and it was a wrap after that. And not to glorify it or anything, but the feeling that gave me at the time, it was like, oh my! But you got to remember, I haven't experienced like living a real adult life yet. I haven't experienced like the things, like I said, I grew up poor, so I didn't get to experience holding a job and being able to go and pay for my own things. And it's not because I grew up poor, but I got into drugs early, so I
absolutely.
never got to experience like the I don't know, like the simple things that we take for granted in life for as they were. I just kept taking them for granted, I guess. But so that happened. And a little bit after that, so I caught her messing around with one of my peoples, and I'm sure you could take a wild fucking guess who that is. You know, so that ended up being a thing or whatever. I got back with her a couple of times, and then on the final time, I got we were broke up. She was gone for a while, and I started hanging out with. I don't even think she's even relevant anymore to any of us. This chick, I forget her last name, but she went to Kelly, and she was dating a buddy of mine, and that was when the meth kind of started coming around. I'd never done meth yet. So she leaves the dude she was messing around on me for, and we're at my buddy's where my buddy and his girl live. And we're laying in the room in the middle of the night, like 3:30 in the morning. And this chick shows up. She wakes us up. She's like, hey, you want a line of this? And like I got mad. Like, we're not fucking doing that. That shit's gross, but here I am shooting dope. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're not meth. Well, I did. So I ended up doing that too. And then this is what I'm working up to my first time in like jail as an adult. So I was barely 18. And she goes back to the dude she was messing around on me with. That was the final time, I think, that was when our relationship ended. But I was still mad, so I got all tweaked out. Been up for days. I just started fucking, whatever. Got all
Because that
tweaked out. Been up, and I decided to find a brick out of my front yard, go up to these people's house with my shirt off and my last name tatted across my back, put a brick through the window, and run. You know what I mean?
to anybody
so
who don't know why I'm laughing so hard.
it was their window.
It was my house window.
Yeah, it sure in the fuck was, dude. So and run like nothing, and I never gave it a second thought. Never thought like nothing of it. They didn't know who I was. I didn't have a mask on. I had a blatant tattoo of my last name across my back. Like, so I don't know. Maybe a month later, if that, I'm driving around with a buddy without a license, and we get pulled over, and I have this warrant, and I'm honest to God surprised as fuck. Like, what the fuck's the warrant for? I mean, well, whatever. So I go to jail, and that's my first time. That's where that whole fucking bit starts. I go to jail. I'm in there for like a day and a half, I think. They OR me. I
Just
have no adult.
AF. So just enough to be sick as.
Yeah. They I had no adult record yet. They OR me. So I get out, and it's back to the same old now. This time I'm single. So I'm like, and I'm heartbroken. So I'm really wilding out. I'm starting to do as much as I can of everything I can. And now it's to the point where I feel like I have nothing to lose. I don't give a fuck. So this is when the criminal part of my life, the real criminal part of my lifestyle starts building up. Can I smoke on here, or will it get us like kicked off?
I don't know the answer. You're good though.
All right. Anyway, I'll try to keep it out of the way.
Yeah, like
But
just
anyway,
you know.
yeah. So and I'll never forget. I was actually telling my old lady about this even before we even ended up like talking and catching up again. I was like, man, there was this girl that lived with me and my first baby's mom one time, and when we would be sick, like she would be like, dude, if we don't get well, somebody's getting fucking robbed. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in. What's up? You know what I mean? Like, what's up? And the word for word, I've never forgot that because let's get it.
Yeah, like right now. I was so bad, like, and you know, and I'm laughing about it now, but and that is no way funny because like that was really my personality. Like I was not going sick. I'm sorry, and I hate it to be that way, but if it's you or me, man, it's you.
For sure, 100% of the time, absolutely. But so that's kind of the mindset I had. That's what brought that up. That's kind of the mindset I had at the time. Like I'm strung the fuck out. Now I'm doing real hard because I'm heartbroken for the first time ever. I've never had my heart before. So now I'm going hard in the paint. I'm doing whatever I can get my hands on, as much of it as I can. I OD'd for the first time during this fucking little spell I had, and then I started. Let's just say I started taking things from people's homes that didn't belong to me. You know what I mean? Like in a sense of like in a very aggressive manner. So I started doing that for, a little bit, and I got in with another buddy, and that's like fuck, I think he had before he even turned 18, I think he had like 6 years in. You know what I mean? Like so that's kind of what he did. So I got in with him and we started doing that. And houses, cars, whatever we could find. So that's going on or whatever. By the grace of God, I got questioned for some stuff of that sort, but I never got caught for any of it by the grace of God. But however, I am in and out of jail for possessions and, during this time, possessions, whatever. Anyway, so that's kind of the touching on that. Like I was at a point where it didn't matter who I hurt, what I did, I'm getting well. Like it don't matter who. I would army crawl. I would love going to family holidays because I'd be army crawling under the table to grandma's purse. You know what I mean? Try to get well or whatever. So,
medicine cabinet, any
whatever.
yeah, anytime I could be around like normal people, that was an opportunity. Like, yeah, where most people would have took like a holiday as an opportunity to, let me be with my family. But as me, it was not. It was an opportunity to see what I could get, from whoever, anybody.
And that's the whole thing. I'd show up there. Like let's say Christmas, for instance, I'd show up there, do my best to rob everybody that was there. And then whatever Christmas presents I got, those were hot as soon as I left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Straight to the dope boy with them.
My parents, they didn't even give us Christmas. Well, but they would give us for Christmas. We got dope,
Yeah.
like
right. Yeah. It ended up being like that in like my mid-20s, but that's what I would ask for. Just fuck, get me an 8-ball for Christmas. I'm happy. You know what I mean? Just want to sit in my room and get painted all day. But so we'll skip forward a few years, 6, 7 years. So during this through this skip, I'm in and out of jail. Shit's just getting worse and worse. Whatever. I quit doing the like house shit, But so I started kind of selling dope just to support my habit. I meet my first baby's mom. And she was actually clean when I first met her. She just got out of jail. You were around a lot more for this one. So I meet her, and I thought that right there, that's who I was going to marry. I mean, that was the one until it wasn't. But so that right there is really. So I got her pregnant like 2.5 months into the relationship. Like I barely knew her,
Yeah.
and we're by this point we're both strung back out, running around. She's out here, prostituting and doing what she's got to do for to get us both well, honestly.
Right.
But and I'm out here, so I started boosting from stores or whatever, selling dope, just whatever I could do. And so long story short, we end up leaving the small town life and moving down here to the city, straight to, I mean, the projects.
The corner of Liberty and Lynn. For anybody that's
Yeah, for anybody that knows, Liberty and Lynn Street, right on the corner, the project, boy.
I remember when I moved into that apartment down there with you guys, like when we moved in, there was nothing in there. Like it was literally, and when I say nothing, guys, I mean like nothing. Like when you walked in, it was like, it was a HUD apartment or whatever. It was like concrete, and it was just looked like concrete. It looked like an institution, or like you're walking into a cell or something, because it was just empty, man.
It did.
Empty.
It really did.
Fridge in the kitchen. That was it. There was no beds. There was no TV. Oh wait, you guys got a bed at the end there? Like you guys had a bed eventually?
A few months.
Like some mattress.
Here's the crazy thing: is I got that bed out of the trash. You know what I mean? What's up, baby? I see you got your goggles on. Yeah, but we got that bed out the trash, and then I found a couch. What, baby? Hold on, Daddy's talking, honey. Here, take these. No, hold on. He's on the phone. All right, you want me to put him up here? Hold on, Daddy's talking. All right, your turn. But anyway, so I found that. Was you guys there for that leather couch we found?
No.
So I found this nice leather section. It was just sitting downstairs where you signed in at. It was sitting down there, and I looked at the security guard. I was like, "What's going on with that?" He's like, "I don't know. The people brought it down here yesterday. They couldn't get it on the elevator, so they just left it, and they haven't been back for it." I was like, "Can I have it?" He's like, "I don't give a fuck." So I took it. So and this is before we got the bed, by the way. So we had a couch to sleep on for a while. Then we got dope sick. Hey, I posted that bitch on Market. It was a nice ass leather sectional too. Posted on Marketplace for $60, dude. Let me get
only piece of furniture in your apartment.
Piece of furniture in the house. And if my grandma was sitting on it, I'd have sold it with her on it. You know what I mean? But,
I remember that was probably when we lived in that apartment down there together was probably my my worst time, or whatever, because I had always had my dad and them to kind of support my habit. Like they would never let me be sick for too long and stuff. And then like when we came down there with you, there was no saviors there, but it was like you said, we had figured out. We were figuring out.
We did too.
Because I couldn't, could only lay on the floor dope sick for so many hours, guys. Like
a concrete cold fucking floor, dude. It's like being in jail.
Yep.
But so we moved into there. That happened, whatever, and things were going horrible. Like between me and her, like again. And I'm not one to get physical, dude, with women. But when I was in that mindset, it's just, and they played their parts in it. It's not like, I was just in a bad mindset and shit happens. Like there's two of them that I'm pretty sure the only two girls I've ever been physical with, honestly, besides my little sister. But, but they definitely played their parts. You know what I mean? Which is no excuse. I'm not saying that. I'm not justifying it at all, but it's just what it was at the time. Let's just call it for what it was. Well, anyway, so, we'd go down, panhandle, whatever. There was times I'd go out, rob a dope boy real quick, whatever.
I was talking today about like it was so crazy there when we lived there, because that's all we thought about was like dope, like the rent, whatever situation was taken care of. We went every night. There was like this little place that served dinner down there, and we we ate out every day. It was good ass food too. Like we literally for, for a drug addict or whatever, like but that I'm not trying to make it sound cool because it was bad, because that is all we focused on. We honed in our life literally consists of every day waking up, down dope. We met at 5 o'clock to go to the dinner hall, and like couldn't miss dinner 5 or 7 or whatever,
and that's why that's one of the most important parts. Like, and mind everybody, I ended up going to prison before all this. I did leave this out. I forgot. I went to prison for trafficking. I did a year. One of my best friends, female friends, I don't think any of you guys know her, but she hasn't been around for a long time. But she wore a wire basically on me and my whole family. You know what I mean? So anyway, I went to prison for trafficking. I did about 11 months and some change. I got out. And so that's right when I met Kelsey, was when I got out. So we moved down there, and that's why this is one of the bigger parts of my life. Because even though I've been to jail, went to prison, robbed some houses, living there, I don't think I've never wasted more time and energy and just everything on dope, dude. Like that little year and a half or 2 years that I lived there.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't realize that until like I was like counting up. I'm trying to get like my storyline out in my head because it's hard for me to remember because I was just high all the time. And like, it was not that long, but it seemed, God, man, it was a struggle.
It seemed like forever.
Because every day was so hard. Every day.
Yeah. And then I remember we got that little settlement from a car crash from like a year and a half before that. And so this is when we get to the part where
hold on, Derek. I don't want to interrupt you, but somebody said I haven't heard many share with my DOC. It makes me feel so much better. Absolutely her drug of choice. Like, absolutely. That's what we're wanting to do here. That's what I'm trying to do, is that I want people to know that, there has been people that have been as bad off as you, and I'm doing that in quotes for anybody that's listening to this and can't see me, like, because that was something that I struggled with, is I thought that I was far gone. So I want people to know that, like, people do heroin and shoot up meth and speedball, and we do come back, guys. We do.
Yeah. Really Speedballs was one of my favorite, and I hated meth unless it was with heroin. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, I still do it though. Hated it, but if you gave it to me, I was going to put it in my arm.
I didn't like meth, but I would do it real quick right now.
Yep. So, and I would do it, and after about the first minute, I would be like, "Fuck, why'd I do that?" Because I enjoyed about the first minute and a half was great. But after that, I was like,
weird for about 7 hours. Like,
yeah. Especially if you did it while you were sick. But anyway, dude, that was so that little bit. So I struggled with heroin for about 15 years, 13, something like that. But for that little bit, that was one of the worst times of my addiction, because like you said, dude, I don't think I've ever thought more about dope and just wasted so much time and energy and so much of my life on it. Like, I lived, and I understand people living in a trap house, but that right there was just like, it was my house and it was the trap house. Like, it's not supposed to be my house. I'm supposed to come to your trap house instead.
Right.
Nah. I mean, like, so what, baby? Yeah, I see. Yeah, pretty.
If anybody in there that had some drugs, like, do some drugs, bring some drugs up, let us try them, test these drugs out for me. Like, you get people, you meet.
That's how it was too. Yeah, we had all kinds of people coming in, like, here, try this for us. Yep.
Yeah.
And and then I remember walking all over stores of the city, boosting or whatever. But then we got that little settlement. We left. I think, if I remember correctly, I think we set you guys up a little bit, made sure you guys were good while we were gone.
Y'all hooked us up with the HUD, and we got an apartment. We got our own apartment.
No, I'm talking about when we got that settlement. Me and Kelsey took off for a week.
Yeah. Yes,
remember?
You did.
And I believe, I don't think we left y'all too fucked up or nothing. I don't remember, honestly. But anyway, that's when that shit happened with my mom. We came back.
Yeah.
And you guys were like, your mom's in jail. I was like, what? Because I had $5,000, but still didn't buy a fucking phone. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course not.
went and bought gold passes, a shit ton of crack, a
That
shit
we
ton of
used one
heroin.
time, probably. Like we do dumb shit like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we used it a few times for that week, but once that money was gone,
Right,
it
yeah,
was a
like
wrap. Hey, I tell you what I did do though was later I would use that pass. I didn't even go to Kings Island like to go. We would get a ride up there. I would have somebody take me to Kings Island, wait out there. I'd use my pass, get in for free, run in, hit their little shop, get like a bunch of fucking Under Armour slides and book bags, run back out and bring them back down and sell them, dude. I did do that. We did use the pass for that.
oh, then it paid off, right? Like
Yep. But anyway, so we came home from the hotel one day, and my mom had went to jail for a felony warrant she had that I didn't even think she had. I didn't know she had it. I don't think she did either, honestly. But for a felony warrant she had, and when she got out of jail, that's when shit with her went real south.
her
So yeah, yeah. Her health, she would keep, and I was a dick about it, but I didn't know that's why, you know. But it doesn't matter. It's my mom. I shouldn't have been an asshole like that. But I was a dick about it, dude. But I was just fucked up, man. All I was worried about was dope. And anyway, so I went in there one day, and she said something about her back hurting, and I was being an asshole. I'm not gonna lie. Like, mom, you got to get the fuck up out of this bed. Like, da 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 da. And because the room stunk, but I didn't understand. I thought it was like her, because she'd been in there laying there for days. And I pulled the blanket up, and there was piss all over the bed. I was like, dude, you really just laid here and pissed the bed? And I should have known when this happened, dude. I should have fucking known, but I was so far gone and so fucked up, I never gave it a second thought. Like, and this kind of makes me out to look like a really shitty person, but I'm really not. I was just so far gone.
no, someone joined the TikTok.
Right. So she didn't even know that she had pissed on herself for days. She didn't even know that. Like, so Kelsey did do this. I had Kelsey take her in there because her back was fucked up. So I let her lay in there for whatever. Well, when the room started stinking, like, Mom, I know you're hurting, but you got to get in the fucking shower, dude. Well, I didn't know that she was pissing on herself and didn't know it. Well, so Kelsey got her in there, got her cleaned up, and I'm in there talking to her. And she just starts shitting on herself. And I was like, Mom, are you shit? Like, I heard it, and like, it sounded like she had farted, but I started smelling it, and it smelled like straight shit. And I looked, and you could see it through her shorts. And I was like, Mom, get up. Come on. You just shit on yourself. She's like, no, I fucking didn't. No, I fucking didn't. I was like, yeah, you did. So I called the hospital, and she's refusing to go. I was like, if you don't go to this hospital, you're going to get the fuck out of my house. Because at that point, I knew something was wrong. Anyway, so she ended up going, and she told the ambulance she didn't want to go. I was like, dude, something's wrong with her. You guys have to fucking take her. Well, they did, and little did I know that was the last time I'd ever seen my mom. So she had stroke from the time she went to Brown County Jail. She had an infection hardened up on the valve of her heart, and a piece had broke off and went to her brain. So for like a week and a half, she had stroke after stroke after stroke after stroke after stroke. And I wasn't familiar with strokes, and I never thought that it would be my mom. You know what I mean? Even though we were out here shooting dope and shit together, I never thought it would.
That, Derek, we all sat
You
there.
didn't know that?
No, I never knew what happened to her. Like, I knew she went to the. Knew all that. I was there for all that when she shit on herself.
Right.
But I never knew what actually happened to her because we were all so far gone. Like, she just, it happened, and then we just carried on. You know, we carried on with our lives, and I never really.
Sepsis, and I didn't know this at the time, but come to find out, they told us about the infection. And she kept saying she had cotton fever. And my mom would, she'd keep cotton. What, baby? Yeah. Here, want me to fix it? She would keep cottons forever. And she was very prone to cotton fever. Let's just say that. So I didn't give it a second thought. Well, that's what happened. So when she got to the hospital, she ended up having another stroke, and I couldn't even figure out which. I told them to take her to UC, and they told me because they asked me which one. They told me they were, and they didn't.
I remember you
I
couldn't
couldn't
find
even
her
figure,
for a day or two.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I was about to say. I couldn't even figure out what hospital she was in for a couple days. Well, I guess in that time period, she and I didn't really have access to a phone unless I went to the Wi-Fi. But if I'm going to the Wi-Fi, and this is fucked up, but this is how far out there I was. I
call the
wasn't
dope
super
boy.
worried about calling grandma to see where mom was. I'm trying to get dope and go get it. And I'll come back and do that later, but I never did.
Right.
Finally I did. Or Devin showed up and I used her phone to call my grandma, like, where's mom? Well, come to find out she had another stroke while she was in the hospital and didn't even know who any of her family were. And I didn't go see her. What, baby? Yeah. Go play with it for a minute. Daddy be done here in a little bit. What? You want it open? Hold on. There you go. But anyway, so I didn't go see her or whatever. But she ended up dying. So that was kind of when my recovery process started. I still was strung out for another year or 2018, 22. So about another 4 or 5 years.
But definitely when
but
you knew something had to change, you know.
That's when I knew shit had to change because I just basically was there while my mom had stroke after stroke after stroke and couldn't even fucking recognize it.
Shit, bro.
Because
Me
I was
too. I never fucking knew. Like, damn, bro. Like, I consider myself pretty intelligent. You know what I mean? To fucking
like
be so fucking high that we just sat there and, man, dude, I'm sorry for what it's worth.
And I knew my mom better than that to think that she would just lay in there and piss on herself for a couple of days. She wouldn't have done that. I knew that. And I think that's why I got so mad. Like, what the fuck's going on? And she was talking fine and shit, but I didn't know the signs of a stroke. So, like, shortly after that, I found out, like, if you're having a stroke, your face droops and shit. I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't know that. I just obviously was too fucking selfish, high to give a fuck, man. I don't know.
Like, I'm sure I probably heard it somewhere or whatever, but dude, none of that was in my mind at that time. But anyway, so that's when I knew shit had to change. So I went, me and Kelsey still going on with that toxic relationship. That was still a thing. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And so we broke up and I went to, and we didn't break up. She just up and took off with somebody that I was supposed to be cool with in the middle of the night one night. Well, she was gone for a few days. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. This is my chance. I'm going to go to treatment. So I call, set up the appointment, get to bed. The day I'm going to treatment, I take a picture in the mirror, like a selfie in a tall ass mirror at Irv's house. And I was like, headed to ARC, see y'all in 6 months. And I get a ride. I pay for a ride from Hammersville to New Richmond. And I'm pulling in this fucking driveway. And this female calls me. Like,
I knew you were going to say that. No, God. Okay.
Yeah, are you really going to treatment? Come home. So my ass is like,
are you really but that's how we are. Like, I can't judge. I know.
I blew off treatment. I went back home just for her to do the same thing a week later. That process repeated again. Literally the exact process that I just explained, repeated again a week later. Pulled in the driveway treatment. She's texting me. I roll. Well, finally, she left again like a month after that.
2 times in the driveway? You left treatment twice in the driveway?
Well, and finally, I'd had enough. She up and left me again one day. And I told her, like, that's it. I'm done. I'm not doing this shit no more. And I went to treatment. It was a 6 month program. I was there for about 60 days and I left. But when I left, I did real good for about 2 or 3 days because I had it in my mind, like, I don't need this. I'm going to stay sober. Well, I left and in 2 or 3 days, I was cool. After that, I was started fucking shooting dope. Within 4 days from the point I started, I was dope sick again. 4 or 5 days. At least that's what it seemed like. Well, I know I called that treatment center back so fast that they still, like, the same bed was still open. They still had all my records. They still had all my numbers. They didn't change anything when I went back in there. My bed number was the same. They didn't even have to do my processing again. None of that. It was like a week and a half after I left, I called them and went back. And I was there for about another 60 days. And I left. But this time I left, I was gone for one night, didn't do any drugs. And I went to another treatment center that was shorter term. It was like 30 days, the Cat House. And I was there for about 10 days. And I left and went to sober living. And it worked out great for, I don't know, 6 months, 7 months, something like that. And then I went back out. My sister started using again, and we all went. I didn't know she was using. We all went out one night, and I caught her, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let me get in on that." She's like, "No, because you won't stop." I can do this once.
I can do
I'm
it
good.
one time, right? Of course we can.
Okay. I did it that one time, and when I tell you it was off to the races, that was it. I didn't go back for none of my shit at sober living. None of it. It all stayed. I don't know what happened to it to this day. I didn't go back for none of it. I had my phone and the clothes that were on my back. Anyway, so again, I ended up in treatment about.
It's 4:05. We've talked for an hour and 5 minutes. So what I want to do is I want you to give a real quick summary because we talked so much about your addiction. I want to touch on Derek is doing so great today, and I want to touch on that for about 5 minutes, and then we will wrap this up and we will get you back on and we will finish up your story because with people on TikTok, people are saying thank you. They were all saying like they're sorry about your mom and all kind of stuff. So hi, Holly. But so I definitely want whenever you can come back on, I would love to have you back to finish this up. But
if you don't have something set up for next week, and we can do a part 2, because I really did want to touch on where I'm at today, like in depth, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, for sure, and I'll let everybody know. I'll put the post when we firm it up or whatever.
Right. So by the grace of God, March 31st, I will have 4 years clean. I have a fiance. I have a great job. I make killer money, like killer money. I drive the first new vehicle I've ever owned in my life. Like, we're still in an apartment in the city right now, but by, I think, May, we will be working on closing on a house. You know what I mean? So, I have, like I said, hold on, let me see. Hey, Pat. Hold on.
Hi. Look at her. Hi, baby. Hi,
I have a beautiful daughter. Say hi, Leanna.
Hi. Your mom.
So I have a beautiful baby girl. Like I have a great job. I have a fiance who I'm probably a little more than I need to be for sometimes. That's another thing I didn't get to touch on that I wanted to is like how past relationships affect that, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
So like she's also in recovery, and she is a pharmacy tech at UC Hospital, making I don't even remember, but she's making really, really good money. Hold on, Stick. Hold on, baby. She's making really good money. I hang ductwork for commercial and industrial factories, plants, make great money. And I have no desire. I do my meetings not like I used to. I probably should, but I don't. But I have no desire to go back. Like, and that's one thing everybody says, all it takes is opportunity. When opportunity meets desire, no. Because here's the thing. The opportunity might present itself, but the desire will not. And I can 110% say I will never go back to using drugs. You know what I mean? Like, there is no desire whatsoever. Like, and there hasn't been for a really long time. But yeah, so things are good today. It's not all sunshine and rainbow. Stop, baby. Quit. Come on, girl. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean? So come on, Stick. Really cool. But it's definitely better than it was. So people, I'll close with this right here. and this is going to be me being honest. Some people might not agree with this, and that's fine. This is how I see it. People say my worst day sober is better than my best day getting high. I personally disagree with that. However, my worst year sober is definitely better than my best year getting high, because I will tell you, I had great days getting high, but I never had a good solid year that stayed great.
I
You know
like
what I mean?
that. Yes, I've never heard that.
Like I had great days where I had $3,000-$4,000 and whatever. So like, and then I've had sober days where my grandma died. But I can tell you what, I've never had a month. So I could say month. I've never had a great month of getting high, because I always end up broke, strung out, homeless, or in jail.
Maybe about a week. A week is probably about the best run. Then money starts running out and stuff gets sold.
That's why, because my worst day sober, my grandma died. That was really hard to get through sober. I did, but it was hard. But yeah, so I don't want to like people to feel disrespected or triggered over it, but I've definitely had some better days. But I promise you, I haven't had a better week, 2 weeks, or a month. Since I've been sober, it just don't happen. But I know as long as I don't put that shit in my body, I'll figure it the fuck out no matter what happens.
Other people said they like that too. I really do too. I've never thought of it like that, but you're absolutely right. I wouldn't. Let me see come here, honey. My husband, he wanted to see the baby. Come here.
Oh.
Hi, sweetie.
Oh, say hi. You pooped, didn't you?
I am so proud, Derek, that you get that be great for. I'm so excited for you, because I know you always wanting to go see. You always tried to. Let me see her. You always tried to, be a part of, even in your I could always tell that you wanted to be part of the, your first child's life. So I'm really glad that you finally got to have that. At least.
I didn't even get to touch on that either, but yeah.
Yeah, she is so cute. But all right, we will jump off here and let's take care of your business and mine. Tyler in the room too. So, but we'll definitely have you back. So thank you so much, Derek, and I will get in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I ain't gonna lie, I was really nervous at first, but that was a good time, man. I appreciate that.
I know. I'm glad. I know. At first you were stumbling around, but now it's 4:15 almost, and we're still. I could go on if but duty calls. So I will talk to you later.
All right.
I'll show you.
Have a good one.
I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn bad. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me, might smoke.